Boys, now we're going to talk about some Mythic cross-realm stuff. Going to go through the bosses because a lot of people who didn't enter Mythic ever, because they don't have a guild, might decide to do Mythic because it will be puggable with cross-realm. So I was just thinking of giving some people some info. If people are progressing harder bosses with their guild, you can also ask questions on that. But else we're just going to go boss by boss and just talk through roughly what the plan is, you know? Okay, so Kazzara, boys. We're pulling the boss. Boss has very few mechanics, but it's easy to fuck it up and just die. The main idea is that there are zones that he will debuff players and the players will spawn. This is the rifts. So here, Canex, Swag, Velo, and... Okay, not Maris. Canex, Swag, and Velo will spawn 3 zones, or 1 zone each. And... there it is. And later on we will get lasers that we need to kite into these zones. 1 laser can only be kited into 1 zone. If 2 lasers overlap with each other, then you blow up. So don't want to do that. And the key thing here is to pre-spread. This is the biggest thing. If you were all stacked here, like melees all stacking here, it would be horrible. I'm sure I'm just telling you to just spread, make sure you spread and all that good stuff. Because the lasers spawn like a random location near you, maybe under you, but I think it was just like a tiny bit next to you. And you see, there it is. It's right on the Narco here, Canex. And if they were not next to each other, the lasers would touch each other, in which case we wipe. So here, what Narco should have done is go to the right one, clicks to the middle one, and Servo to the left one. But obviously we see that because we see everything right now. Narco may have not seen all 3. So click sees Narco Kiter to the middle. Okay, thanks Narco, and then he just goes to the right one, and that's it. And he doesn't cross over the other lasers. This is the full principle. There's also a breath that happens during these lasers, and this is important because the breath is baited on players, and you want to just aim this away. So as the people are doing the laser, and this is like something that a lot of people just won't do, and it's like a silent tactic that you don't have to do, but it will just make your things a lot more consistent. Because imagine if they were still kiting the lasers, and later on the laser kiting will be taking longer time due to reasons, and there was a breath coming right on top of Servo here. He would be panicking, right? We don't want to have this happen, so we move here to the sides, and the breath will surely go to one of the sides. There we go. It's not on a Dread Rift. It's fine. We're good. New Dread Rifts coming up, and the amount of Dread Rifts increase over time. So we have 4 here. I think it's depending on the percent, like at certain percentages the boss does some raid damage. It's not that much, and it increases the ticking damage on the raid, and also increases the amount of rifts that get applied. So here we again place the lasers, and the good thing is also do not place these Dread Rifts right next here. So for example, this is like a bit too close to this one, so that people can actually go behind them, because otherwise Roger would leap into shit. He wants to be able to go here. You know, this guy, and this is even too close. This one should have been like here, and then there would be space to walk, you know, because obviously not everyone has disengages. This is an unlucky breath bait. You see, this is exactly the thing we're trying to avoid, but sometimes it can't target the person that is, you know, kiting the laser. So, yeah, this is just it's a case of unluck, and Nogi just has to play good, and he does, and we're good. But yeah, this should rarely happen. This is how it keeps going. You can play alternative strats. There's a strat where you keep the boss in the middle and spawn rifts all around the place. I think this is the easiest. This is what we did. Didn't wipe at all. Was the easiest. Just could spread these more. This could have been here. This could have been a bit more forward. All that good stuff. The biggest thing again, before lasers, every time lasers are coming, we should be spreading. Like if I'm not saying spread here, is bad because they're quite stacked. Re-spreading for the lasers. You see, like you just have to be doing this. Otherwise, this is the thing you just will wipe to. Just spread. When lasers are coming, just spread. Good call, Scripe. This is why you're outside. And you see, they're almost wiping us here. And if this happens, this is when Scar should pop the Devo. Rev is ready to rally. Let's see. It hurts. Rebus Rally. Okay.
Oh,
Okay, it didn't do much damage because it's the first boss, but yeah, I was a bit. If they kept kiting together, it could have. They could have done damage. We keep going, and at the very end, and I don't know what the logic is behind that, but what we do is we spawn the last drifts like towards the exit of the room. So probably here. We can spawn it here. So I guess it's so we don't have to move the boss. I don't know. You don't have to do that. You can just keep kiting, but yeah. It's either sometimes knock back into the thing and stuff. Obviously, you know, if you have the dot and you get hit by additional pools or something, just pop a personal. A good spread. Look around. Worst case, just keep kiting this laser. It's not that bad. You can just keep kiting it until you see the situation and then go and put it in. This was perfectly played by Flex here, for example. These drifts we just kind of placed YOLO. It doesn't really matter anymore because we don't have space anyways. First Roger should be going here. Attack. Alright, that's it. That's the first boss. I would recommend probably the easiest boss after this one is Assault. What is this boss called? Zaqali. Okay, so here the idea is you split the team into two and they'll go to one platform each. I mean, you know it from Heroic as well, kind of. The only difference is that the... Actually, this is also in Heroic the case, right? The Mystics. I just have to kill the shield. I think so. And previously this was only a Mythic mechanic? I don't know. Yeah, it's basically the same as Heroic, I think, so I don't know if there's anything to explain. Is a door dash existing on Heroic? I guess not. Oh, and the stones perhaps. So make sure to pick up the stones when the boss does his leap, I think? No, his heavy cudgel. So there we go, it's happening. Thank you for the sub, sir. So these swirlies, very important to just pick them up. There we go, Roger does it. And then you go and wherever there are lights, you go and throw it on top of the ads and they will not spawn, which will make things in DPS check a lot easier. You can throw this multiple stones into the same ad, which is really bad. So try not to do that. Make sure you're spread. And also in Heroic, I'd imagine people don't really do this mechanic though. Like when I just went to Heroic, everyone was just zerging. So, oh yeah, the one thing that's new on Mythic is the Phoenix Burst, where you just kill them and try not to be close to them. They will just keep respawning, and that's it. You can just control them if needed. And then in the last phase, you want to have one side soak first, either this side, we call this the far side or the close side, because this is further to the entrance. And then if a side is still finishing off their ads as the boss phases, it's good to say, oh, you know what, the close side do it because they're already done hitting the boss. Meanwhile, the far side is killing ads still, because the first door slam happens decently quick into the last phase. And one side is soaking. If not enough people soak this, the boss will not lose all of his energy, so you can't just single immune this or something. And also split damage taken. This Flaming Casual hurts a lot. You definitely want to rotate some raid cooldowns here. This circle here, bang, hurts decently. Good. Yeah, that's it for Assault. So a very easy boss, which is why you should probably do it as the second boss in Pugs. Everyone will be able to kill this if you have the DPS checks. Yeah, next one is the purple guys. We had a really good strat for this, but it turned out it is very easy and it's not needed at all. And I heard that you can do it, and I just said, you know what, YOLO, just pull. Like, this is how we start the pull, actually. I don't know if you can hear it. Apparently you can just wipe around them.
Who am I clearing with, man? What is this now?
No, you just see, Noggy's tilted because we're not doing any strat. Just don't clear with anyone. I mean, you just go into a range and hit someone and come back.
Bruh.
I mean, people losing their shit because I'm telling them you can just YOLO. Because they were expecting we do a tactic, but it was indeed the correct call. We one-shotted the boss and it was very easy. So here the idea is you would have to switch sides on Heroic, but we just blasted it. most people even stood in the middle. If you want to play good, I guess, I mean, you can stick to one side. At least don't stay in the middle unless you're getting a huge DPS increase. I would say this is probably the best strat, honestly, and just out heal it because really doesn't do that much damage. Now there is a really cool strat we made for this, but it's just not useful. Like, why would you do it? And I try to solo soak this as tanks. Like Andy does a great job here, solo soaking. Doesn't even lose HP. I don't know what the fuck. Didn't even use spell warding or anything. Yeah. The people that are in the middle, they are ticking decently, I guess. The warlocks here, but I would also recommend, worst case, just push one ad earlier than the other. What Ryzen died to here is, I think, the flame tornadoes are. Or what did he die to, actually? Oh no, people touched each other. Actually, I don't know what he died to. Oh, the orb. Yeah, okay, he was too close to the orb. Yeah, definitely want to run away from this orb. And then the last phase is the more interesting part. And you see we did it with 3 people there, so you can clearly do it. Yeah, with the circles, we just run away. With the mythic debuffs here, this is the only interesting thing. When this happens, you want to spread out because it does splashing damage. Like, this was very close to murdering each other. And then you want to look on the... Like, I wouldn't use any add-ons or anything for this. I would literally just look at my orb on my head. I look at this orb on my head. If it's 2 different ones, I go and stack with this guy. If it's the same one, I don't go to him. So Roger should just go to Ken with this, tack done. And soaking and moving out of these. But this is also on heroic, I think. And I say the main thing for mythic debuffs, it's not the ability itself that is hard to play, it's just the priest spread. Because people just don't forget to spread. And this is, I'm sure, what we're gonna have deaths to. You're gonna see it now. Although I do yell spread often for this, but... So here, Scar's Narco suspiciously close, and now we're spreading. Okay, definitely the call was made. You can see the camera movement, and you can see like there was a call right here. You see how the vibe completely changes and how Roger is DPSing. He's definitely trying to spread, and we have a perfect spread. Nothing happens. And then he looks at the orbs. You have this chat bubble thing. You can clear this a bit later, but you don't want to hold it too long because it stacks up too high. So now he should be looking at who else is fire. Okay, somebody immuned, or yeah, this is a thing. You can immune this, but then the person that you should have cleared with, if he can't immune, in case of Roger he can't, then he just stays there and just keeps ticking higher and higher, which is obviously not good. So you should try not to immune this, otherwise the person will probably die, which we see probably soon. Okay, actually Roger did survive until the next set, and then but you see he had to like take sack and stuff like that. Is there anything else? I don't think so. Metastrat is swapping bosses. That doesn't really do anything on Mythic because then you just have both debuffs. It's actually worse to do that. Swapping the bosses is not good. Because, okay, I guess if this was unclear, on Mythic, the debuffs last forever. So you switching sides doesn't do anything. The idea is you can clear it with somebody with the opposite color. So Roger could go to the dark side and clear with someone. But switching the bosses does not do anything. So either you want to commit to start clearing at like 10 stacks somehow, make some sort of tactic that you clear with someone. And we have a great tactic for that. It's just not needed. Like, I would much rather just sit and blast. I mean, if you want to know our strat of doing this, was... We kept the range on the same side. We rotated the bosses. One boss was down here, and imagine they both rotate clockwise. And then the melees kept following the boss, so they never lost damage as well, which was nice. And the range stays still, which is also nice. They keep hitting the fire guy. Let's say that is down here, and as the fire guy moves away, the shadow guys appear, and then they switch to the shadow guy. And then the melee would go to the ranged. I mean, if you want to risk it in melee, you can also have range going to the melee, and then they would clear with the ranged people that were standing still, and that's it. But I just strictly do not recommend this. I would definitely say just sit and blast, and like bring 1-2 like 50%, and the other one is at 60% worst case. Even that's better than doing some other weird shit. You're gonna be fine with this tactic. Don't worry, guys. Trust me, just blast them. Don't bother resetting. Don't even think about it. It's a brain cell wasted. Okay. I mean, Forgotten Experiments especially is, I think, doable. So on this one, there's many ways to play it. But the one we go for is that we lusted 50% basically. You'd really like Evokers on this fight because they can remove bleed. And you want to remove the bleed from the Stranding Charge because it lasts forever. You should also be using Bob. So you see here, we removed Clicks and May Evoker with Evoker spells, and then Flex should Ice Block here. I think he'll probably do it in a sec. There it is. Yeah, he was blasting his burst, I'm guessing, so he didn't do it instantly. Same thing with next charges. I think the Evoker thing might be on cooldown, so we use Pops here, and then later on the Evokers, when their cooldown is ready, they will use it on the Warlock. And now we should be lusting right here. Yeah, perfect. So it's around 1 minute you are going to be lusting, so keep your cooldowns, it's fine. The bleeds are not that bad. Don't need to kill Neldris super hard, like quickly. But still, you know, with the lust, especially if you're benefiting from Execute, you want to be hitting Neldris 100%. Actually, everybody should be hitting Neldris basically, unless you're losing out something huge. Like if you have extra damage on the boss, like anti-Execute, I guess, high HP Execute. If you have that, then you go for the high one. Else, I would just say go Neldris. So for example, here, the mages, they should be hitting Neldris. I don't know why they're not. You want to skip the charges 4, I think, ideally. So we didn't skip it, we even got the charges 4. It was kind of bad. Skipping that would have been quite nice. On the other guy, with the debuffs, you definitely want to have, I think 1 Master Spell is enough, but 2 is nice. But, I mean, you're going to have a Priest for sure, so just spec Master Spell. Earlier, you don't need a Master Spell, but you want to ideally stack up in the middle or stack up somewhere, as long as they're stacked up. And you want to Master Spell these debuffs. You can do it. I think this is also in Heroic, right? Just to be clear. Yeah, actually there's nothing different on Mythic, except for that the bosses arrive at 50%. And things just hurt more. And also the orbs, I guess they apply a debuff. I guess even if you did it on Heroic already, you might not know the specifics. So these orbs, they take some time to form after you dispel. So if you see, we dispel right here, as at 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, and like 9 provides. It takes like 4 seconds for this ad to form at least. So when you need to dispel during this, you can dispel during this AoE right here. If Frago is dying, let's say we could dispel Frago right here. People often think they can't dispel during the cast, and they dispel now, and that by that time the person often dies because the rate damage plus the dot damage is high. So you can just dispel it here. This was something that Liquid was not doing good. I don't know why. I think they were just not prepared for this boss at all. Just why we one-shotted it and they had some wipes. But turns out investing into this boss was not also very important for the race. You definitely want to focus Thadrion fully here. Don't swap the Rianthus. Even if you have high Execute or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you get rid of Thadrion, because this punishes you quite a lot. The dots do hurt. And Rianthus you could play almost forever, honestly. It doesn't really matter. It's mostly about this. And if you can skip this 5th bomb especially, that's really good. Yeah, here you see Master Spell. If there was a word marker here where they can stack up on, like this was our first pull, so we were just kind of YOLOing it, but they should just stack up together and then get Master Spell way better. And yeah, as your stacks go higher, obviously you want to cycle personals and stuff like that. If you don't, another like small thing that most people may not know is that these debuffs, they travel to the closest people. So when you Master Spell this, like, you know, Leescron is definitely gonna get one. There it is. So if you don't have a personal left, you could stay a bit further away from them so you don't get them. So if, you know, fellow doesn't have any personal left, this was a good place to be. So if you had it just now, you know, People that had it before can just go a little bit further. It's only 5 people, so you can have a group of 3 people rotating. At least tanks can't get it. Or at least won't get it unless everybody's alive. Any tips for tanks here? Honestly, I have no idea what the tanks were doing. I don't even know if they knew what they're doing. I would say just choose a nice time to blow up your debuff. Like this is really bad, for example. Blowing up your debuffs here is really bad. Look at how it almost wipes us. So Maris and Andy, they're both clearing the debuffs. We have high stacks of people. We have rate damage incoming, and they clear their debuffs here, I think. This is not good. You see how it almost kills these guys? Even though it does not that high damage, I think, but still. Right here. This is the, I think, the rate thing. The tank. I'm not sure. Maybe it's super small though. In principle, that's what it is. At least you shouldn't be removing your debuffs when there's high rate damage. Went to MD. So you can do it on Thadrium, not Rianthus. On Thadrium, you can do it. Wait for it, and when there's 4 seconds left. Okay, he died on this one. When there's 4 seconds left, you can MD if you want to. You don't have to. You can also off-sync some of them. So let's say we MD'd there. So it was an early set, let's say, right? So right here. Let's say we have a lot of them. And they're quite high stacks, or 12 stacks, obviously. You can mass spell right now. And remove the burden from them from the last 2 ticks. This is the biggest externals you can give them, basically, by master spelling them, right? You remove all the damage from the big dot. And then it will be off-sync with this bomb here. So one guy will have really high stacks. So everybody is at like, or really low stacks, at like 5 stacks. And one guy's at 1 stack. So it's a bit offset. So you can just do another dispel right here. Like this is a good moment to dispel. You can easily kill it. Anytime after this, I would not dispel anymore. So let's see if we do dispel here. So we did not dispel, basically. That means we need to really heal Flex and Canix, which Canix died. Okay, Canix died because of the charge, I think, but still. Flex will definitely suffer. You need to commit a lot of externals here for sure on Flex. Okay, he pops Invis. And has got a sack as well and survived. Easy clap. But yeah, if there was a lot of people like that, it would be bad. So what I would do is I would dispel when there's 4 seconds left on Thaddeus' cast, and then I would dispel when there's like 15 seconds until the AoE or something like that. And then the last phase, now this is a bit more YOLO when to dispel. You just have to be like reacting to the situation a little bit, and also just popping personals and stuff. And just do clear calls. So there's a breath incoming. So let's see how we're talking about it. And yeah, stack up the boys in the middle, and we're gonna do one more master spell in 3, 2, 1.
Okay.
And you see now they're gonna move away from the middle, so it's kind of nice. Okay, this guy who was standing here was really spell weird. In 3, 2, 1. Yes, Gingy was hard trolling. Like I don't know why he wasn't stacked in the middle. He just started running away. I think he didn't realize that he had the dot probably or something.
Yeah, I see. Okay. Fuck in there.
Watch the breath, watch the breath. And now during this breath, like these guys will take a lot of damage, so it's really hard. You don't want to generally dispel during the breath. If you do, you gotta be really coordinated about it. Breath. One more breath. Check if he's again middle. This is very important. When people move back in really quickly, he might charge again to the middle. Just don't move in quickly, but at the same time tell people to just keep looking at the boss. People will instinctively just run to the middle and AoE, and then the boss will charge there again. And it will just die. Go to the middle. Clean up all the ads. So this is the wrong call. Technically, I think I should have said kill Thadrion, focus Thadrion instead of the ads. Let the ads cast. And keep the debuffs alive.
Anonymous.
And 3, master spell in 2, 1. So yeah, here I'm trying to master spell because I see the guy dying, obviously. We could have, if he was dead before, we could have master spell probably later, but it doesn't matter. At like 10 stacks, generally you want to look for the spells. Okay. Killing these is super easy, so you shouldn't be hesitant to dispel often.
Good stack by the way.
You see how easy they die.
Yes, pixel.
Yeah. You put a word marker in the middle or something, Chris, or somewhere?
Assembled.
Okay.
I cleanse on breath.
So here I should delay a little bit to like 13 stacks, 14 stacks, and then dispel. We're going to do the mass spell in 3, 2, 1, go if you have. Yeah, this is really good. Now for the breath, we should be fine. I think we could have done even a bit later, but I don't know. Breath coming, get out of there. And then we should be dispelling right after the breath. And bait him outside ideally first. Okay, knock that orb away, Jinji. I mean, this is the idea, really. Yeah, this orb, like... I don't know if this is worth dealing with, honestly. I thought it would have been. But it is quite tilting. And, even though it feels really bad to let it walk into the boss, like, especially if I was pugging this, I would definitely say, yeah, let the ball just walk in, give the boss a heal absorb. It's just a lot of rate damage additional, and it's not worth it, I think. We actually played really good here with the orb stats. I'm impressed. Nowadays, we just let it walk through. I don't think this is needed. I think you can just let it go through. I'm not 100% sure on this one. So heal absorb is all DPSable, and the last phase is really not that hard. Like, it's just a repeat of everything. You'll just out DPS the orb, and then eventually the boss will die. That's it.